they enroll, so after they enroll your students,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have the new option that pops up. So under your users, down over here on the left, they'll have all of them listed in here. If you wanted to add one new user, if like a new student came,
yes.
you can. There's this button here. You can select to find users to enroll, and then you can actually add in user and students.
Okay, and that's
by
what Todd
name.
was talking about at our
Right.
meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
So that would be something that if you wanted to add just one, you could do it there.
Okay.
But to add assessments, actually over on the left-hand side here, there's class tools. And then down under class tools, there's the tests, surveys, and pools.
Okay.
And then under there, so there's a couple different things. So surveys aren't graded. Pools are things that, it's like you could do a pool of questions, and then you could just pull those questions into any tests or quizzes that you want to do.
All
But
right.
for tests, we would just click on our test option, and it would bring up our items here. These look like these are items that, so these are tests that have not been deployed. That looks like, because this came from Rosemary, the site did. These are things she must
so
have
she's
typed
working on already.
Yep. But if we wanted to make a new test, right up here where it says build test.
Okay. Seems user friendly.
Yep. And so then we could call it whatever we want. So in this case, it would be Unit 1 exam.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do a short description, which I usually don't because I name it what I want it to be called.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess we could say day 1. And then under the instructions, you could answer all questions to the best of your ability, or
Okay.
whatever special instructions you want there. And then you're going to submit. And then this is kind of your canvas where you get to make your questions.
Now on the other little program, Infuse Learning, they randomize it. Can this do each of the sections?
Yep. So to randomize it, you mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. But like, we'll have the multiple choice, but then can we do this with these choices, or do I need to change those to multiple choice questions?
You can do matching.
I can do
Yep,
matching.
you can type in
so
matching.
we can do this section, then this section, and within a section it can be randomized?
It can be. Yep. So for
I
example,
think that's easier for the students.
yeah. So for example, within the create a question, in here we've got all the different question options available. And so most oftentimes for these early ones, it's going to be the multiple choice option.
Right.
But for the matching, we've got the matching option as well.
So I can type in my multiple choice, and then I can go to my matching.
Yep. So when you click multiple choice, it's just going to bring up 1. So here in the first one, so the ones with little stars are your required pieces. So here would be your first question, which is 1 centimeter. It's cubed, right?
Yeah, of course it is. Yep.
So there's these little buttons
Oh, look at there. Okay.
So we can
I
go
can do
1
that
centimeter
tonight for
cubed,
everybody. Okay.
And then E is equal to, and then so that's the question part.
All right, got it.
There's the options portion here, which says how do you want your options to be listed? Do you want big A, big B? Do you want lowercase a, b, c?
Oh, look at those. Okay.
And then this is the one we want to make sure we click is show answers in a random order. So that within the matching, each question will be ordered different.
This is nice.
And then the other piece to think about, and I think we're going to have to change it on the other page actually. Yeah, we're going to have to put it on the other page because we're going to tell it how many points the question is worth.
Oh, okay.
So there's our question, and then when we scroll down here, it's our answer section. So we had 1 liter as one of our options. We had 1 milliliter.
This is going to be very slick.
And then 1 gram per milliliter. And then 3 centimeters. And then the correct answer, you got to tell it which one the correct answer is. And then you just pick the one you want.
Cool.
And then if you want to say, if they get it right, you can say good job. So that if they put the credit, say good job. If they get it wrong, you can provide feedback in the event that they got it wrong, and you want to give them feedback.
And that's what you were talking about. So
consider your significant figures, or consider like if they get it wrong on a calculation. You don't have to do that. It's just an option.
Now, if someone doesn't like my comments and we share the test, can they go back and change? Okay.
Yep. So down here at the bottom, so once our question's all done, we're going to hit the submit button. And so now here's our first question as it reads, 1 centimeter cubed is equal to, and then here are our choices. If you want to edit the question, there's this little arrow, and then you can select edit, and that'll take us back to that same screen that we saw before.
Okay.
The one thing here to watch out for is there's this points. We want to make the total number of points 2, because of each multiple choice is worth 2 points.
All right.
And there's actually a default setting for that.
Will the students see the answers vertically like this? Have they had any problems with them reading that way? Or?
They haven't. And we can change that as well.
Oh, because the little button is right, so they know that B lines up with that?
Yeah, this is the edit version.
Okay.
What we can do is, if we go OK, so this is saying, this is the test we just put in. And what we can do is we should be able to take it. Oh, you have to actually launch it. We don't want to do that because it's not quite ready.
Yeah, we're not ready.
But when you launch it, it's going to look just a little bit differently. This isn't how the
Okay,
question's
so it'll
gonna
line
look.
up just a little bit for them.
It should line it
Okay,
up.
all right.
The other thing we can do is if we don't want it to look that way, we can edit instead of vertically, we can put the choices horizontal.
Well, I don't mind vertical. I mean, with paper, that took up too much space.
Right. And
Okay.
So you'll notice it's still kind of displayed goofy.
Yeah, it is.
But what we can do here is, and I'm just going to, there's question settings here. I'm just going to change the default for the scoring. Because right now it's set default point value is 10 points. I'm just going to make that, because usually our questions are 2 points
I
each,
think they are all.
So this way it'll automatically default this number to 2 points. And so let's go ahead.
Rosemary must have unit 3. God, those ladies work way ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like I get up in the morning and I'm still doing
Yeah.
today's. It's like, really?
So it hasn't been deployed. We would have to deploy it to be able to look at it.
Okay, well, we're not ready for that. Okay. So I'll type,
And so then
and then
so when you go in and you over here on the side, when you go back to your test surveys and pools, it's going to bring you back. So you're going to work on a test. You want to work on that unit 1. And then
So how am I going to be, I mean, I'll get all this typed up tonight, these 2 pages. How do I put pictures in?
Yep.
Oh, yep, I can do that.
Can be done.
Okay.
That one, that's going to be more difficult to do.
Okay.
I wonder if maybe that's something, we could potentially do that a couple different ways.
Project that on the board?
We could project it. We can insert that. We would need to have the individual pictures though.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would do a multiple choice question again. So you would type your question in. Oh, but it's a matching, isn't it? Sorry.
That's all right.
You don't want the multiple choice. Go away. We go back. We want matching.
Wow.
So for the matching.
I used to do this on a typewriter.
Oh, yeah.
God, this is so nice.
And it takes a little while on the front end to get it set up. I think it's going to save us a lot of time.
And I asked the kids, I surveyed, because we had problems. And I said, is this frustrating? Do you want, and by and large, even if they froze, they still wanted to do it online. We do this all the time.
That's what they're used to.
I said, okay, but for 23 years, I've done this on paper. Are you sure?
Yeah. And that's,
so it's
like, I think they're more used to it. They're used to the troubleshooting aspect. They're used to it not working the way they thought it was going to. I think they're more used to that idea that, okay, it might not work the
to
first
me,
time.
it makes me feel like, oh my God, I'm terrible at what I'm doing here. This is horrible.
Appropriate. There it is. I'm a terrible speller.
Oh, I am too.
Match pictures to the appropriate descriptors.
Sure. And I don't have any problem with taking this and projecting it up on the board. Because, I mean, we could do that. That could be on the board the whole time.
Yeah.
If
but
we
we
need
should
to.
be able,
So would we just draw
I don't know
them?
if we can. That's just the indenting. Okay. Because I know on the questions, so for example, on the question text,
Mm-hmm.
oh, here's what we could do. There's this little option right here that says add image. So you can actually just pick a
Oh.
picture and pop
Okay.
the picture in.
So if I put it like on my desktop.
Do you have the test close?
Um,
'Cause I think
no, it's probably not. You mean,
those pictures.
do I
you
know where they are on my files? I doubt I've saved it, but we can look.
Because I think I just sent out an email because we could pull them out.
Oh, well, I can pull them out. So I would have been playing around with it. I don't think I saved them yet.
Okay. Two. Okay.
I think I just printed them from the email.
Okay. Which is fine. But what we could do
Okay,
is
I see what you mean.
we could just paste the picture here,
Mm-hmm.
labeled A, B, C, and D,
Mm-hmm.
and then down below for the descriptors we would say, I think it's the first option, is it? Yeah. So
Pure substance, yeah.
pure substance, and then we would just, the correct answer would be letter B from our picture. So then they would just pick the letter that matches the two together.
All right, and they might pick more than one letter.
Right.
Okay.
So then we could.
All right.
So then
Oh, I'm
so
excited.
you
I
match.
will.
So then your question part goes here, and then the correct answer match goes to the next one. So mixture.
Right.
As many are as two choices. Ooh, I don't know how. I don't know if you can have more.
When I first looked at that, I really preferred the checkoff method
I
like
do
we had
too.
before, and that was one of my comments. But Todd liked this, and I thought, oh, I can, that's fine.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to put multiple correct answers though. That's the only thing.
But that would be easy enough that they could do that on day 2.
Right.
I mean, we could put that on day 2.
Right.
I think. So day 1's only going to have, looks like 24 questions in the
And then the
ACT.
Mm-hmm.
So